Hi, everyone. Today is Thursday, May the 6th of 2021, and we are here for the weekly crypto review with MooAnt. So that means, of course, we have MooAnt in the house. How's it going?
It's going great, man. What a week, huh?
I know, crazy.
Yeah, a lot of us have our favorites running. I guess I'll just show a few quick charts maybe before we get going here.
Yeah, my second sell order on Doge was triggered at the 60 cents. So I still have, what is it now? So 22% of my Doge is sold now. So I still have 78% of it running towards, because again, you know, I'm not going to cheat. The rules were for the Doge cruise that you had to become a Doge millionaire just from Doge, not from your other crypto coins. So just to clarify for those who are wondering about the Doge cruise,
right?
You do have to show proof of millionaire status just from the Doge coin.
I almost made a joke, but I'm not going to. There was some discussion earlier today that this Doge looks like it's about ready. Probably I could draw some lines, but I'm sure people could visualize them themselves, and maybe Crypto Spartan would do that. But anyway, I think a few of us think we're charging up here, ready for another leg up, which is great, coming to the end of this, I don't know what you would call it, a wedge, triangle, flag, something like that. What I'm really excited about is I think people are now understanding, and I'll probably get into this a little bit later, but people in their minds could do it right now. They could compare the Bitcoin market cap during the last cycle at its all-time high market cap and see how that charged your alts. And I would like people to take a look at the Ethereum because back then we basically had one engine, right? We had kind of had one engine that was supercharging the crypto market. And so think about that engine now has went 5 times where it used to be. And we now have other engines. So we have the Ethereum engine kicking off into all-time highs at $3,500 or whatever, charging up its alts. We have Binance Smart Chain, another engine that is charging up its ecosystem. We have the DOT engine, which is charging up all the tokens inside there and the substrate inside there. So it's a really amazing market. When I hear people talk, I don't think, as you hear from people, I don't think they really understand how big this can get, the whole market overall. But they should keep in mind we have multiple engines now that are just absolutely supercharging these different ecosystems. And I'm just so excited. I mean, the sky is the limit. We're sitting at 2.3 trillion, almost 2.4 trillion on the total. And then total 2 is right at 1.2. So this is everything minus Bitcoin. But I'm just super stoked. There's so many FA things available to us now as well. You know, one of the amazing, well, I guess I'll show one more thing before we kind of get going in here. But well, first of all, I'd like to get your feedback on these multiple engines now charging this the overall crypto market. Sam, what do you think about that? Where we used to have kind of one engine in the last cycle, we've got multiple engines now, kind of just I mean, supercharging these various alts and these different blockchains. Any thoughts there?
Well, I think that we're going to see proof of stake take over the market. I've always felt that way, that proof of stake would take over the market. Now, I mean, the Dogecoin is a mined coin. It's just, I like what Santino calls it, a baby Bitcoin. And I've noticed that the Bitcoin maximalists, they've been trashing their baby. It's like, what are you talking about? It's built on the Lightning Network, just like Bitcoin is. And but it's unlimited. Well, you know what? It's not even $1, and Bitcoin is, $50-something thousand. So yes, Bitcoin is coming through as a store of value. But as far as, investing in the crypto market, if you led a bunch of people into Bitcoin and just trashed all of the alts, it's time to take your medicine, right? It's time, because I'm going to take it and I'm going to shove it in their face and I'm going to be like,
see?
Yeah, not so smart, not so smart. Look, do not listen to them. Listen to me. Do not listen to them. They do not deserve your interest. And you know what? And what I really appreciate about the leaders in this space who've entered later, and you can tell that they're struggling. right? But they're being honest about that. Like I like how Rao Paul is being honest about his, Bitcoin's eating the world, and then all of a sudden, oh, Ethereum's going to take over Bitcoin. I'm like, you're getting it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, look, you got Dodd, and okay, yeah, you're getting it, right? So you can see the transition from being like Bitcoin is everything and it's eating the world to, oh, maybe not, maybe not. Maybe it's this technology is what's eating the world. And,
Exactly.
and I am going to take credit for knowing this only because I'm a medium. Before I used to think that, well, this is kind of obvious. When you look at this whole situation, it's kind of obvious. I'm sure the other financial professionals will see this as well, because I consider myself a financial professional. They're financial professionals. But then when none of them were getting it, I was like, oh, well, maybe it is just because I'm a medium that I'm getting this. So I'm going to give them some slack in that area. But now that this is happening and they're doubling down, now I'm getting annoyed. So if anybody is still a Bitcoin maximalist, trashing, it's a stupid coin, it's a meme coin, it's like, you know what? You hated it from the beginning and you told the people who watch you not to buy it. And sure, yeah, okay, they bought Bitcoin and now they got 10 times more money. But, some of us only put in a few $1,000s into Doge and are now millionaires. So, I mean, where do you want to go with that?
Yeah. So, let's morph this discussion. Yeah, let's go to there. So, one of the things that makes Doge interesting to me is the same thing that's made crypto in general, as far as a currency, less of a technology and more of a currency, interesting to me. It's because people are determining what value is, right? And when I hear young people, and I'm hearing it almost everywhere I go, they're comparing, it's their first crypto, they're young, they haven't had a whole lot of money to invest, they're comparing portfolios. I hear them now starting to talk about other cryptos. This is amazing. This is what this should be, and it's human beings, especially small holders, determining what value is. And man, look at that. I mean, the day, your little doggy or your baby Bitcoin is being talked about on Barron's, right? This is wonderful. Dogecoin started as a joke. Now it's too important to laugh off. I love this. Now, is there, for some other reasons, am I worried about the high concentration of Doge holders from long ago? Sure. But, early beats capital always. I'm more excited about all these young people I hear, no matter where I'm at. They're talking about Doge, they're talking about cryptocurrencies, they're beginning to, compare wallets and portfolios and start to talk about some of these larger things. I think this is wonderful. Once again, the most important thing to me is people, human beings, right? Not central banks, not a authoritarian government determining what value is. I always want people, right? People, especially small holders, to determine what value is. I think it's wonderful. I think it's absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, the Doge is the people's coin, and it's going to continue to march forward. And I was reading, thanks to Tanya Oz, one of the legends there, who is putting together timestamps from the meetups that we have. And one of the things that I had talked about that she had put down, it struck a chord with me about Doge being this coin, and just looking back at the timestamps and the things that I said about it, and it's come true now. It's all come true, and okay, well, what do we do now? It's like, well, watch Polkadot go, watch these other ones go. Bitcoin is not going to recover. If it does go up again, like I said, the highest I personally saw it going was just kissing 100,000 and then coming back down, down, down. And that's why I don't hold any Bitcoin, because I would rather have it in Polkadot. I would rather have thousands of Polkadot than like one Bitcoin.
Sure. And that's okay. And isn't it great that, that's self-determined, right? Anyone out there can make that determination, or whatever kind of mix they want in their portfolio, or what them and their friends want to transact in. Because I'm also seeing this, right? I'm seeing young kids, young adults, let's say, in their 20s, pushing Doge around to, pay back somebody for dinner or whatever. This is wonderful. This is what it was designed for anyway, a small tipping, crypto. Let's, I want to take I don't give prices, right? I don't deal with prices. Somebody's interested in my price ideas, they can ask me privately, but I don't do those publicly very often. I think I've done it twice. What I would like to show is some other FA things before we get into the questions here, so I'm going to go back to Bitcoin a little bit. Let me share this because I think it's important, not just for Bitcoin, but it shows where we're at in the progression of this rollout of this technology and adoption and usage, and how simple this is going to be for people as we move forward. So first thing I want to show here is hundreds of banks in the United States to allow customers to buy, sell, hold Bitcoin through existing bank accounts. And you will also notice that in the major media, a lot of times when they're talking about crypto in general, they will just use this generic term Bitcoin. But because they just don't know any better. But what I thought was amazing about this is opening up, buying, selling custody to hundreds of U.S. banks. And they're doing this through the fintech giant Fidelity National Information Services. We talked about them before, FIZ, and then the New York DIG. And this is just amazing. I love these statements. What we're doing is making it simple for everyday Americans and corporations to be able to buy Bitcoin through their existing bank relationships. If I'm using my mobile application to do all of my banking, now I have the ability to buy, sell, and hold Bitcoin. This is another great one here. This is not just banks thinking that their clients want Bitcoin. They're saying we need to do this because we see the data. They're seeing deposits going directly to Coinbase and the Galaxies and the Krakens of the world, so they want to get involved. And this is exactly as you predicted, which is awesome, right?
But you see my point though about, now we can look at it and be like, oh, well, that was so obvious and stuff. But I have to ask the question, was it obvious? It was to me. I never
Yep.
I never really gave credit to being a medium to that kind of stuff.
Sure.
I give the credit to, I worked 27 years. There's different areas, just like there's different areas of medicine, there's different areas of finance. And I would say mine was, I worked in direct sales. So compliance was my big thing. And for me, looking at the space, I was like, well, there's going to be a whole bunch of people in trouble because of compliance and not following those protocols, right? And some of that we saw it come home to roost very early for EOS. They just paid the fine. We looked at, some cryptocurrencies got embroiled into lawsuits before they even got off the ground, like Envion, for example, that didn't even get off the ground as an ICO. The money was seized. And we also see, Tezos, for example, that was embroiled in a big lawsuit. And then even Polkadot, it was hacked, where money was taken out of Polkadot, before, and that was before we got involved in it. It had been hacked, so there's a lot of stuff that is going on in this space, in this new space. But, it's continuing to move ahead and just understand this. It is very early days. I don't think people can comprehend where this is going. Someone mentioned that Bitcoin dominance has fallen to 43% now. I feel like we're really going to be riding a high wave when it falls to 35%, because that's what I was looking at Bitcoin falling to. And most likely this year, seeing the 35% market cap for Bitcoin versus the usual 70% that it's at.
Absolutely. I'm going to be very excited when it starts to reach this 30%. And you're seeing just today, it's fallen precipitously, right? This is amazing for the Bitcoin dominance to be falling. I want to hit one more thing, I think, before we get going here. What else do I want to show? Oh, if anybody is interested in following the stock to flow models, we're quickly approaching these points of no return. So if anybody's been following this over the years, we reach certain points within these cycles, which it's a point of no return for Bitcoin. And we're about to approach another one of these points of no return. This was published. This specific chart was published January 14th, but this is starting to, these ideas are starting to gain more traction as far as articles, because we're fast approaching. You'll see that this line here is July. So right in between of January and July, basically right where we're at now. We're starting to enter this area of point of no return again, which is just absolutely phenomenal. So people that follow this model are very, very, very excited, because we're just getting going. So it's wonderful for this next leg. So yeah, anything to say about that?
I think that we still have a ways to go, man. We still have a ways to go. Now, did anyone notice that when the market crashed, the legacy market in the US crashed? It didn't crash this week. It had like a big, I didn't even know about it because really, it didn't really affect cryptos.
No, ETH took off. So many took off. Link took off. Doge, looked
Yeah.
great and took off. I mean, there's so many, right?
Yeah. And this is why you can't time this market. And again,
No.
talking about, when people are like, oh, I should trade, I should go take my money, go into cash, wait for it to pull back. And it's like, well, wait for what to pull back, right? Because, you sold your Doge and it just kept going, right? You sold your Doge at 12 cents. You were waiting for it to pull back to 5 cents.
Yep.
And now it's like 60 cents. Like, what you going to do, right? Duh. That was not a good, listen to the media when she tells you Doge is going to be $1. Listen to her. Listen to me. I don't know what else to do.
I love it. Well, let's go ahead. Is Spartan joining us today or not? I haven't heard.
I don't see him. I don't see him in the room. So we'll probably just have to have charting with Spartan on Psychic Nerds tomorrow.
Good. Well, let's go ahead and get into the question. We have quite a few, almost 50. So first one here is, and there's going to be lots of Doge questions today. I just know there is. But let's go ahead and get into them. So is XYO the next Doge? Thank you both.
Well, that was my comparison where XYO, it seems that its bottom was at around half of a penny. And because people were looking for something to invest in since they missed out on Doge. And I see today it is just above half a penny. So again, there's plenty of time for people to dollar cost average into it. But remember that there was a long waiting period for Doge for me. I bought it in September of 2017. And I only pressed the sell button in April of 2021. So almost 4 years later. The difference, though, is going to be the timeline. I think that XYO is, going to hit the higher numbers in less than half the time that it took Doge to do it.
Great. Thank you. This next one is from Freestar. Hey, guys. Sam, do you think Stellar is going to go to $15 will happen within the next 12 months or a bit further down the track? Thank you.
I do think that Stellar is going to hit the $15 mark by the time we are in like the $3 to $8 trillion range. We can see that we're running towards the 3 trillion right now, which is pretty exciting. Crypto Spartan, he is in the house. So if he wants to show us some charts, let's just do 2 more questions and then we'll give Crypto Spartan a minute to get himself ready. Oh, you guys just upvoted again.
Yeah, try not to upvote, you guys. As we start reading these, it gets us out of order. We get a little bit confused.
Yes.
This next one is from Jay. Do you believe Reef Finance will win a parachain slot on Kusama and or Polkadot?
I don't think it can. Is it on the list? Is Reef Finance? It's on the list.
It's one of the ones that will be vying for a parachain. Yep.
Oh, it is vying for a parachain.
Yep.
So Reef can do that. Oh, okay. I thought it had to be sort of a substrate of Polkadot or Kusama too, like one of the Polka Cover, Polka Markets. I thought it had to be one of those.
Reef is a part of the substrate.
Oh, it is? I thought Reef was more on the side of the Binance, etc. But then it just goes to show you how much I know. I mean, the people on the other side, they just show me stuff and I see it and I see how great it's going to become and how many people are going to be using it. So now even knowing that it is part of the substrate. Oh yeah.
Well, let's be very specific because I probably just threw a bunch of people off. So this is a cross. It can be a part of Polkadot, can be a part of Binance Smart Chain, it can be a part of Polygon. So it's cross chain. So I don't want to mislead anybody.
All right, that was my impression of it. Is that it was that I didn't realize it was cross chained. I knew it was able that it had formed partnerships with many different things, and I just see it as going up, 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 and I think that. I mean, that must be why I see Reef doing so well, is that it's probably going to win a parachain slot because the prices that I'm talking about it going to, I'm looking at movement in the range of like Elrod, for example, right? The kind of upward motion. And that would come as a result of not the price wise, just the percentages. but that would come as a result of a parachain, and now that it's become a parachain. So I'm gonna say yes on that, and glad everybody, we've all been loading the boat with refinance.
Yeah. Hopefully Spartan's almost ready. Let me ask him here, and then let's just go on to one more, and then try and jump in with him for just a few minutes. We have lots of questions today. Hi to you both. What do you see happening with Doge once it reaches $1? Do you see it continuing on to the steady price pace of a few dollars, or sharp fall downwards first? Do you think it will be in the top 15 market cap 2 years from now? Thank you.
I don't know about the top 15 2 years from now. I know for 2022, it'll probably be in the top 15. I do see it over $1. I don't know how much over $1 though, because I do see suggestions of $5 to $8. I don't see anything higher than 8. Not saying that it can't be, but again, we've already gone through this with theta. This is the beauty of now being over 2 years into this grand experiment. Now I'm able to look back and figure stuff out by looking back at my blabs from before. And, Doge to $1, and my last jump off for $1 for Doge is $1.50. Right. And the reason why I said, Doge millionaires is because if people bought $1 million worth of Doge, I did not encourage everyone to hold it till $1. I encouraged people to start selling off before the $1, and then but to sell off at like $1.50, right? Like to balance off the ones that they sold for under $1, so that they still end up being, a Doge millionaire. But if you have at least 1 million Doge, you would have no problem doing this. But now, in order to have 1 million Doge, you have to have $600,000. So that's now off the table. So of course everybody's looking for, what is the future Doge? And I'm like, hey, grab some XYO, grab some Phantasma, grab some Reef, some Super Farm, and the Graph. All of those, you got a little basket of those going on. You're going to be a superstar in this summer. Because this is going to be the summer of NFTs and DeFis. We're going to have part 2 coming on, and Doge easily to $1. I don't know about it falling sharply or anything like that. That would make me probably have the abilities of a trader that could become a trillionaire. And you know what? I'm telling you, if that ever happens, I am taking the entire world's supply of money from all of you. I am. I'm taking all the money. I'm going to be like, I have it all now. And then I'm just going to decide which countries are getting it.
I love this. It's great.
That's it. Russia. Hey, Russia, you've been mistreated. We're giving half of it to you. Let's see how you do. Here's a chance to prove yourself.
Oh, I love this. Very, very funny.
Yeah. And Tuna wants to know if I have a knowing whether Stellar will 10 time first or VeChain will hit $1 first. And how about this, Tuna? How about I say that it's going to happen at around the same time, right? Because when Stellar's going 10 times,
sure,
VeChain's going to be making its run towards $1 as well. Because remember, the water's rushing in, and it's raising the boat. So Stellar is one of the head boats with no holes in it.
There we go.
Hey,
buddy.
All right.
All right, let's go.
Bonus points for who knows where favorite college is.
Yeah. No idea.
No.
No one knows?
No idea. No idea.
Gosh. Horrible.
Where is it?
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, friends.
No. You should know. You should know.
It's Animal House, baby. It's Animal House.
Anyone texting in the side? Anyone knows where it is? Anyone know? It was, well.
It's that Animal House.
It was the college where Animal House took place. The movie Animal House?
Yes. I remember that movie.
Okay. Sorry. A little sidetracked. Just having a fun day. I think everyone's having a fun day.
Yeah. Animal House or a regular day on the Doge cruise coming up next year.
I know. Well, I got a little ways to go, but I'm getting there. This is this Crypto Spartan Charting with Spartan is brought to you by BlueChipCrypto.com. It's a business that another buddy and I are starting, and where the website is under development. So it's going to be fun and exciting.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. Well, I can't wait for us to give it a nice big endorsement on Psychic Nerds as soon as you have your website open.
We're not there yet. It's
Yeah,
going to be
that's
a couple.
okay.
I know.
It's
But I
okay.
just figured I'd throw that out there, so it ended up on YouTube somewhere.
Well, people are asking in the comments now about your charts and where can they see your charting and stuff. And I'm like, it's in the works.
So
They're working
we're
on
gonna
it.
have a charting section. It's gonna be a lot. So
Yeah.
here's Mr. Dogecoin. Here's a 1 hour chart. Let's roll into this. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off, Sam.
It's okay.
So we came up against this 161 extension of the primary. This is the primary move on the first run up to 44 cents. And that's where we consolidated before we took off again. And then I drew a fib on the last run up, and we have a confluence of Fibonacci extensions at 161 and 261, and it's resting here. And we're in a little triangle right now, but our extension takes us up to around 90 cents, and then the next confluence is up at $1.10. So that's what we're shooting for next.
Well,
And people will start taking profit. I think people, if it gets to $1, people will start taking profits because a lot of people think it's going to $1. So I think it's going to be before that.
I will say this though: the small holders that I've come into contact with, and I think it's so great. Majority of them, a large, vast majority of them, have no idea that I'm even in crypto, or I've been in for as long as I have. These small holders are not planning on selling anytime soon, so that's really interesting to me. Like I said, they're using it daily and weekly now to kind of exchange value back and forth, which is wonderful. So that's just a perspective from the small holders that I'm hearing from. Yeah, this doggy's going to run, man. This looks great. Yeah, great chart.
Run. It's like everything. There's so much momentum to the upside. It's going to break out to the upside. So but ETH, and quietly, Doge is taking the news, but ETH is now breaking out to an all-time high. So who doesn't love this chart?
Exactly.
It's like, come on. So like Ethereum is like Raoul Paul, the real vision crypto. He's got a big marketing letter that he sells to hedge funds, and he went public saying he's 20 to 30%, and he was a Bitcoin maximalist, and now he's saying I've got 20 to 30% of my crypto in. He's got like Ethereum, and then he's got like 10% in all the alts that he holds as a basket, because it's going to be like a venture capital fund where some will make it, some won't, but the ones that make it will be really, really big. So we're on the right track, and people are coming behind us with the same information. We were just a little bit earlier.
Well, I saw that and I was like, hey, Ralph, are you watching my channel, buddy? You're a year behind though, dude. Like I did the ETH readings last year in April. And that's when I was like, I don't know if I'm any good at these or not. Just send me your donation via, it was just a small amount of money because I was able to do it on my own time, and people would send me their list and stuff. And there was a couple of people who ended up putting together a couple of ETH nodes for each one of their children. One of the kids is disabled. And to me, I always said, ETH, I know that sometimes people are always going for the big multiple, but for some reason, I just really felt attracted to having at least one ETH node for staking income. And I just wanted to say that I've heard statements of about 25% a month. And I mentioned to you guys before that I had said 2,500. Yep. And again, if you take the 25 and you switch those zeros and put a line in between it, that's 25%. So I'm agreeing with the potential to have a 25% return if you stake your Ethereum in a node.
I like that back then we impressed upon people that they could acquire a node at $3,000, $2,500, and that what they were purchasing wasn't a token to sell at a later point in time for a higher price. What they were buying was a capital asset. So something like an income producing asset, something like a rental house for $2,500 that could pay them for a very, very long time, or their children. So I'm glad for the people that got hip to that early and understood what we were speaking about. I'm so happy. I hear from people all the time that took advantage of that, and they are very happy where they're at with their ETH nodes right now. Absolutely.
So here's our Here's our primary fib on the last big move. It's taking us past the 618, 161 extension. This is the smaller move recently. So we're past the 261, heading up to the